All right, so let's get started here and let a couple more people in. All right. Okay, let's jump in and I'll kind of give you guys the floor today. If there's anything you want to make sure we cover, you can pop them in chat. I'll try to keep up with what's in chat for you. But let's just take a quick look at the markets and see where we are. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on charts here. Not that charting and technical analysis is a huge, big deal. I hope my sound's not too choppy for everybody. So let me know if it gets bad. We'll figure something out. But let's take a look at some technical analysis and let's just jump into my charts here. All right, so a variety of different charts, different setups for different things for me. I'm going to leave this 3-panel chart up so that you can see, but essentially I have a couple different 3 panels up here. I like to look at things in multiple time frames. So we'll kick things off today, just looking at the markets, but also talking a little bit about the charts and what you see on here as well. So 3 different charts here. I'm going to actually hide the watch list for a minute or two. Then we'll come back. And if you got some tickers that you want, you can certainly let me know. We'll take a look at some tickers. We're going to take a look at ES right here. All right, so these 3 panels, there's a monthly, a weekly in the middle, and a daily on the right. Only because I want to see if I'm, looking for something that directional or non-directional. I want to get a flavor of what's happening in the market. My key indicators on charts here is this is an 8 EMA in the light blue. The kind of the neon green is a 21 EMA, and the reddish, pinkish, hot pink, whatever color here, this is the 50 EMA. So I'm using the EMAs here. This down here in yellow is the 200 standard moving average. So these are simple moving average, however you want to look at it. Did not use an EMA for that. That's it. I'm only using those 3 indicators. You can see in the light gray here, these are Bollinger Bands. You can or cannot trade with those. Doesn't really matter. I use them for a few things, but not a huge deal. The dots that you see on here is the PSAR signal, so PSAR signal. So as you look at these studies on here, 200 simple, 21 exponential, 8 exponential, standard Bollinger Bands at 2 standard deviation. The VWAP I'm not really showing or not using obviously on these longer charts. Standard PSAR, 0.02, 0.2 labels on those, and then the 50 exponential. And then down below here, you've got the RSI, which I'm using the 7, and then 50-50. On that, and then the MACD standard 12, 26, 9 exponential on that. The Squeeze Pro is in the middle here, and then the bottom one is the stochastic momentum index that I'm using a 3-5 time frame on, and I've got the 40s for my overbought, oversold. That's pretty much it. It's the same on all 3 of the time frames. For me, let me add a couple more people in. So those are the technical indicators for this setup that I'm using. And I just want to get a sense of what's happening in the market. So if I'm taking a look at the monthly, what's going on the monthly? Well, right now on the monthly, you can see, and MACD is important for me, but MACD, you can see, started to turn back here in October. So the MACD started to turn where we bottomed, okay, and it's starting to head back up. You've got the Squeeze Pro, which continues to sell off. It started to turn weaker way back here in November. So we're not in a squeeze or anything right now, but the momentum has been down, which there's where the market is. PSAR just triggered buy signal right here in December. So you get a PSAR bullish signal on the PSAR for the last 2 months, which is positive. I pink lines are typically trend lines, and I will use blue for support and resistance, just so it's easier for me to change those. And then the stochastic momentum's been pointing up. So it's matching MACD of telling us that, hey, I'm not saying the market's bottomed here, but it's starting to head back up. So on the ES or S&P here, you've got some early bullish signs of reversal, and you're seeing that obviously on this market as we've moved from the lows here at 3,500 or so, 3,580 all the way up to almost 4,000 here today. All right, so quick look, quick glance. Hey, this looks bullish. This looks bullish. This is bullish. You got a MACD or a P-star signal here that's bullish. So overall, fairly bullish here. All right, so let's move over to ES. And one thing let's go back to price action in a minute. And if this is too much, apologize, but I just want you to get a flavor of what I'm looking at. So let's look at the weekly. How's the weekly matching up? Well, you can see the weekly here, MACD actually went, had reversed weaker and then went positive today, a little bit more positive today. You can see squeeze is actually firing, or not firing yet, but we're entering a squeeze. You can see these Bollinger Bands getting weaker. Don't have the Keltner channels on here, but that's how squeeze is fairly calculated using the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channels, and when Keltner gets inside the bands. So when Bollinger Bands get inside the Keltners as well. What you're seeing on the stochastic momentum, we might be getting, it's been in a downtrend. Pretty easy to see. MACD's been telling you that. So these are my two main indicators giving me some idea on direction in here. So been negative, but a little turn up here and then a little turn up here, sort of matching the monthly. So seeing a little, and then we'll go to the daily, and MACD went positive here back on the 9th. It broke through. We had a P-star signal on the 6th. So P-star a couple days ahead said bullish. MACD went positive. It's been climbing. Squeeze has been reversing and moving higher. I'm just looking at squeeze momentum, and we're entering some pretty tight squeeze areas here. We haven't fired yet, but we're entering a squeeze. However, you are getting a bit oversold. Doesn't mean you can't stay oversold, here for days and days at a time, but you're getting a little oversold. So there's where we are on the markets from a longer term perspective. If I'm making some individual trades, something along those lines, as I look at different stocks in here. Okay, and just a quick price action thing. If I'm looking at candlesticks, you've got the larger, candle here that didn't engulf. It's still a step, still a little bit smaller, but it had a tail to the top here. But right now we've got an inside candle. So there's some indecisiveness on this market. And you can see we've got this big triangle that we're either going up or we're breaking down on it. Right now we're trying to break to the top of this triangle, so you're probably looking at a fairly bullish break, would be my guess. If we break, and there could be a good run, 4,300 or so. First, if we break through here, I'm looking maybe at the top of this candle. There's 4188 is the near term, which is this candle. So that might be the first, and then maybe we'll be looking for something around 4,300, which would be the next big monthly candle up here if we break. So looking at price action, that's what I'm seeing on the monthly. So being that we're indecisive here, we can go to something a little bit smaller like the weekly. And what you're seeing on the weekly is some reversal potential candles here, long wicks to the downside, which means the bears just can't hold it. The bulls keep buying the dip. 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row. You started to reverse here, continuation candle here. All right, so where are we? We can skip then to the daily time frame, and excuse me, knowing that you've got some continuation on the weeklies to the bullish side. You could have looked at this week, seeing that here was a pretty big continuation candle. This trigger here, when it broke the top of this candle, 38.66. This was probably a good chance to get long in here. So this gives you a chance to get long. So you had a chance. It told you here we were reversing, a little indecisive, but as soon as we broke the top of this candle here this week alone, you really had a good opportunity. This is a pretty significant reversal, but it was in the face of bullish trend. And as soon as we broke the top of that, you're fairly bullish as well too. All right, so there's ES. If there's any tickers you want to take a look at, let's just take a look at some key ones here today. We won't spend a ton of time, but let's take a look at Tesla. And what I've got these Fibonacci areas on here as well, just so you can see from this low way back in 20 all the way to the high of November of 21 on that. So look where we came right down to, by the way, which is this 76. We tried to bounce off the 618, didn't make it. Now we're trying to bounce off the 786. Let's see what happens, but that seems to be holding right now for Tesla. So there's an idea on Tesla of what of why maybe Fibonacci ratios. The 618 holds more weight to me than any other Fibonacci level. So I would be looking there for reversals if we're trying to trade short term, something along those lines, or longer term. Anyway, obviously we're down here on the, let's let them in. So you've got on the monthly here, straight down, you've got MACD falling, you've got squeeze showing negative momentum here as well. And you've got the stochastic momentum has been heading down, but is getting into oversold territory. Doesn't mean it can't stay here for a while, but you're heading down into that. So no surprise that Tesla's been going down. So let's look at, so that's our overall trend is down. Let's look at the weekly. Squeeze has fired here, and the squeeze has fired for many, many weeks. Typically, squeeze will fire around 8 bars or so when it fires. It's over 8 bars now. So you got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe. So maybe 12 bars. That's well beyond typically the normal or average 8 that you see. So this is why I've placed some recent trades on Tesla. This is why I have a put spread on Tesla in here, because not that we've reversed at all on the weekly, although you got this little candle here on MACD, which means, and look how far down the MACD is, but you potentially have a little bit of a reversal happening right here on MACD. You're seeing it up here. Some longer wicks, bears couldn't hold it. Bulls sold these last two. Now we've got a little bit of a bounce in Tesla, even though it's down 4 points today. You don't really care. But you're still in the downtrend. PSAR is negative, and you're not going to trigger positive until you get to the 150 area. So you've got a long way to go on that. However, I felt we're overdone on the weekly, and potentially next week might be a week, and you're starting to get rounding bottom on the stochastic momentum. So I'm a little early here. We haven't gotten any confirmation of Tesla bouncing yet on the monthly or the weekly, but let's take a look at the daily. What's happening inside these two candles here where we reversed? Well, look at squeeze. You know, you got about 8 to 10 in, and then it started to reverse. So the momentum is changing here. MACD, same exact time, started to reverse its momentum, kicked positive here, which is the exact same time that we got a PSAR bullish signal. So I really felt this is a pretty good time right back in here to put that trade on. And we put a put spread on at 90, 95, which is well below down here. Out of the money, but we put a put spread on at 90.95, and we've been in that for 4 days because as soon as I got these signals here, I felt pretty confident that that would be okay to put on. So let's see how this trades. You're still in a very negative bearish state on the longer term. It's tough to fight the long-term trend. So don't fight the long-term trend. I'm just looking for enough of a pop, or I'm banking a little early here that this will reverse probably next week. If we get a reversal on the squeeze and MACD continues to pop up, I think next week will be a really great week to start putting put spreads on Tesla in here. So that's why Tesla is a trade we had on. Here's Apple, a lot of different lines on here, so I apologize for this. Let's just quickly look at it. MACD dropping, squeeze dropping, stochastic momentum dropping, chart dropping here, and breaking this little trend line on the monthly back here. Okay, weekly, so negative monthly, and we're just getting going potentially on Apple, which is why I do have a negative outlook on Apple. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, you're starting to get a little bit of a turn up. MACD, squeeze, and then stochastic momentum, all curling, turning here, which is giving you a potential that maybe it's at least a bottom on the weeklies for now. The monthly's still in charge. It could go down, but you might get a couple weeks of sideways upper move here on Apple. And then let's go to the daily, and you've got your reversals back in here. It's moved up pretty good. You can see that this is getting overdone on the stochastic momentum here. So I think Apple's had a pretty good move up. A lot of things are starting on the daily to get into this oversold territory here. So if there are any stocks you guys want, I'll pop them up. Let's just quickly take a look at a few things on here. I think, Igor, you were looking at XLE earlier today. All right, so we'll get a couple of those. So Igor, I think you were looking at XLE as a bullish trade. And I think you were basing that off of, hey, you're in a squeeze potentially here, might be some good bullish action on this piece. On this, you've got stochastic momentum heading up. MACD's kind of mixed, a little negative right here on the monthly, but a good stronger candle and a squeeze buy on the monthly. So still solid monthly here. Looking at the weekly, nice curl up here without actually getting to oversold. Positive on the squeeze, firing bullish, MACD turning up here. And so that looks pretty good. You're negative on the PSAR signal, but it's all good, and you're stacked on your moving averages. So you've got your 8 over your 21 over your 50, 8 over the 21 over the 50. So very bullish trend that you have in here on these. And then, so let's take a look at the daily. Where's your opportunities? When you've got two things that are telling you bullish monthly, bullish weekly, I want to look for good opportunities on the daily. Good opportunities for me on the daily are somewhere in, because the weekly has been continuation pattern for 3 or 4 weeks now. Where in this mess, do you think was a good entry point on XLE? Is this the best entry point now? Well, maybe you got good momentum going. It may continue its momentum here. You are getting overbought, but it can stay overbought and keep rocking and rolling for a bit. I kind of like when you come back and hit these 8 or 21 moving averages. So when the 8 breaks through the 50, which it did right here on this move here, this to me was a good time to get long. So this would have been my signal. You've got a good signal here on MACD and the PSAR reversal. This would have also been a good one to get in. When you come back and test these and bounce, to me, this is better than up here. But I think it's a good bullish trade. You can do something in XLE. Somebody asked for snow. Let's take a quick look at snow. All right, so snow, you got MACD reversing on the monthly, but it's really weak, some really weak looking stuff here. So it's pretty negative, dropping on the monthly. Here's your weekly selling off, but maybe starting to come to an end down here. So we're at lows. So then we'll take a look at the daily, and is there any opportunity on daily to do something? Well, you got you got MACD and PSR signaling long. You're under the 50, which is the concern. So to me, if you had an opportunity, you might have taken it here or so. You're flat. I just don't know. You're really fighting these two downtrends, but you are starting to maybe get some a little bit of relief here. Snow may not be a bad opportunity here for like a put spread. I would be concerned about breaking this downtrend channel here, which is still intact. Anyway, that's my take. Even though you've got some reversal stuff going here, but you're getting oversold or overbought. I mean, if I look at targets, just really quick, everything's down, squeeze firing negative, but you're not at 8, but you're getting there. So you might be a little long. You're starting to get this uptick on both MACD and stochastic momentum. So you may be at close to a bottom here on target, on the monthly, on the weekly. You've got positive momentum happening on every single indicator except for PSR has not reversed, and you're breaking the 8 exponential here, so it looks decent. So now we go to our small time frame. You've had this big move up. You're definitely oversold in here, and squeeze has fired. It's probably a little late in my opinion, although this is where the 8 crossed the 50. And when the 8 crosses the 50, you usually have a good bump. So you might get a little bit more on the rally here. I'll probably look to see if we pull back close to this 21 and then look for the bounce off of that. So give this thing time to settle down into here, reverse, and then buy the bounce. But yeah, not bad on target. And then gold. I know there's silver, gold, a couple other things in here. I don't want to expect too much time on these, but look, if you look at gold, this thing has just completely reversed on the monthly, having a good positive reversal on the monthly. Weekly is getting very overbought. So getting very overbought here on gold. Squeeze is firing, can still go a bit, but you're getting also overbought here on the daily as well. These are getting farther and farther from your main EMAs. So I like the gold strangles in here simply because can we go higher? Sure. But if everybody's getting all worried that, hey, you've got a strangle on at 2100 or 2200, I don't feel too bad right now on gold. For the simple point that I think you're getting oversold, or I'm sorry, overbought on daily and weekly. And at some point, I think you need to come down and take a little break, which should be great. And that should trigger all kinds of 50% winners on our gold strangles here. Hopefully my voice holds up for the rest of this session today. And then last one, and we'll move on. Devon. So if you're positive on energy, then you'll be looking at Devon or others potentially, although Devon's more of an oil play. So it's a little different than energy. They don't exactly move always the same. Monthly, definitely weak. Devon does not look good on a monthly. It's showing some weakness. On the weekly, starting to turn a little bit here. So maybe some bounce here on the weekly, not bad. Good continuation candle off of this long hammer here, but you're running into the 21 EMA in green. But on the daily, you've broken the 21 EMA. You've got MACD and squeeze and PSR all telling you things are fairly bullish in here. My only concern is, again, looks overdone a tad. I'd maybe want a little break. And you're fighting with this 50 EMA. I maybe want to break down to 61 or 2 here today. You maybe had some of that, and then look for it to continue if it can break this downtrend. So, all right, that's enough. I know maybe some more if we get to some more things at the end, we'll jump into it. But I just wanted to cover some different charts that I use. So I like those 3 different time frames. When I'm going to do a couple more crazy ones just to give you guys some stuff today. Let's look at the day trading grid a bit here. So day trading, again, some of us may buy some ES futures and trade that. I am nowhere near very great at this, but these are some of the things I look at if doing 0 DTE or some things like along those lines. Gabe, who's on, and Rod are so much better. If I could be half as good as them trading intraday, then I probably would just rely on that, but I'm not very good at it. So on the day trade, this is a little bit of my setup. This is a daily, same indicators. I'm not changing anything in the indicators. Here's my daily, 15-minute, 3-minute, and then my advanced decliners in the S&P here, just so I can get what trend is, and then the tick. So right now we had some big positive ticks just recently. But when we opened this morning, which is down here a bit, one of the reasons when I did a 0 DTE iron fly this morning, and maybe the difference in my fly and everybody else was at 9:30 when we opened, we were right here. What do we see at 9:30? So continuation candles on the daily, positive daily, okay, right? MACD's climbing, squeeze was reversing, going positive, might be a little overbought, but still positive. Everything's positive. Continuation candles. Okay, so you're positive on the daily, so your overall mood is higher. So let's go to the 15-minute. On the 15-minute, okay, we did sell off a bit over, this morning down to these lows, but then look at what happened here around 9:15, right before the market opened. Okay, your MACD had already started reversing. Okay, your stochastic momentum had already started ticking up, and this takes to go when you start ticking up from here 9 o'clock to here 11 o'clock. That's 2 hours. Okay, it takes 2 hours for this thing to climb, or 2 to 3 hours for this thing to fall. Okay, so move slow. I mean, hey, if I'm getting in right here, stupid simple for me, not anything smart like Gabe or anybody else here, but here's the dumb Tom way of MACD went negative, PSAR went negative. I was already in a negative, losing momentum on the squeeze, and my stochastic momentum, which I like, broke down here. If you would have gone short here, okay, on ES, somewhere around 4,000, okay, you would have had this nice fall all the way. You would have had probably a 30 to 40, 30 point drop on ES this morning, just on stupid indicators for me. I have no idea on volume profile and all of that. I will steal Gabe's stuff just so I can get a sense of what the heck he's doing. And if it makes sense to me, great. But then the market opened at 9:30, and what did we get right at 9:30? We got a pop on the 15. We got this reversal candle. Stochastic momentum was pointing up. Why am I even saying this, and why does it even matter? At 9:30 this morning was, if I'm picking a 0 DTE iron fly, and again, it's probably dumb luck, okay? And the market opened at, what was it this morning? I gotta take a quick look at my trades for the day. There was a decision to make when going with a center at 39.50 or 39.55. We were kind of in that. I went with the 39.55 as my center, and I went 60 wide on my wings for the iron fly because it was positive. If I was buying ES, I would have traded above this candle on the 15. Here's your reversal candle on the 15. It broke ahead of this. Everything triggered here. I would probably have gotten in to ride this a little bit on the 15, and you could have ridden it on the daily or on the 3-minute as you wrote it up. Just simple stuff for me, but That helped me on a 0 DTE iron fly this morning. Is it always the right indicator? No, but maybe I picked the right stock. So this is what I'm watching, and you can see right now you had a reversal bit here, an inside candle. When you break the low of the inside candle, which is right here at 39.92 on the 15, that would be, for me, a little bit of the trigger to get low here around 11 o'clock. So this told me to maybe get out, and you can do this. My luck would have been I would have gotten in on this low candle. It would have reversed up. I would have probably stopped myself out or something done. So anyway, so there's some intraday charting. Again, I'm just using multiple time frames to give myself the best chance to be successful. Ticks are dropping. Advanced decliners have been negative all day. They're still dropping here. You're getting some big candles down. So this is the opportunity here. Again, get an inside indecision candle on this. But look, 15-minute is telling you MACD turning over. Stochastic momentum is telling you we're going short. Okay, so I want to be short, and on this turn here, maybe gives you a chance to be short. So while I'm talking, Gabe is probably making money somewhere. All right, so there's where we are on some charting and some things along those lines. All right, so let's switch out of toss here and take a quick look at where we are on our portfolios. So we'll take a look at our portfolios here. So we have 3 different portfolios that we're working with when it comes to excuse me, when it comes to Income Navigator service. So we'll start with the trading portfolio right now. We had some trades close today. We had our Alta trade close for a pretty nice winner this morning. So that was our call, broken wing butterfly. We closed out of that one. We did this iron fly in the middle of the day, or in this morning, for a quick $1.50 winner in about 11 minutes. And then we also had oil strangle close for a 50% winner today. So some nice winning trades today. And we're sitting here with a variety of different pieces to our strategy. So the main driver of our strategies right now is a weekly ES strangle that we put on 1 every week. So we've got 2 here sitting at the March 31st expiration that are working. And then we've got 2 here at the March 17 or 1 at March and 1 in January. Sorry, this January one is one of the old 30 DTE ones that's going on. So I should have 1 more lurking. Okay, I did not put a stop or something to track it with. Here, bear with me for a second. 3100. Let's see. Okay, it's this one. I'll explain this in a minute. Okay. So I like to put a good to close order on. Obviously, you saw I went for 50% and then I ticked it down because I'm not closing these at 50. I'm taking these off at 30 days. So I'm going to take the most profitable one off at 30 days. So instead of a 50% target, I've lowered it by X number. It still could get triggered, but I keep an eye on where things are at. So there's 4 of these strangles working right now. So next week, I will take off the most profitable of these strangles that we have. Right now, let's see, the 3200, 4450, that one's sitting at 2062. So that one's right now at a 10% winner. The 3150, 4470 at 1550, that one's sitting at an 8%, almost 9% winner. This 3100, 4450 is sitting at a 10% winner right now. And then the latest one, which is this 3240, or the oldest one, I should say, up here at 870. This one is at a 70. This one right here is at a 70% winner right now. So I did not take it off at 50% because I'm taking them off at 30 days. So this thing is past its 50%. It's at 870. I put it on at 2675. So this is currently a 68% winner right now. So pretty nice winner. So there's part of the core strategy is one ES strangle a week. We'll get into more. The other one is a gold strangle once a week. So you can see in gold here on this portfolio, we've got 4 strangles. So next Wednesday, we'll take one off and we'll put one on. How are we doing in these? This one here, which is the most recent one at the bottom here, that's sitting for 890. This one is a 12% winner. So, well, you can see right there. So 12.7% winner on that one. If we look at the 1650, 2225, that one is at a 30% winner so far. The 1610 here at 5.7 is at a 29% winner. And then this last one here, which is the oldest one, is sitting at a 18% winner. Mainly because this is the closest call strike at 2175, so it's not decaying like some of the other ones on here. But next week we'll take off the most profitable one, and that constructs our core trading on the strangles. Those are all getting put on at 90 DTE. If I'm adding one here, I'm going to go out on the chart. I'm going to find the first strike or the first expiration over 90. Sometimes I'll go a little bit less. If I've got too many on at one strike, I may go down to 74. Somebody was asking about that yesterday. I will easily go out to around the 7 delta. I might look to see if something in this range is a round number or has a lot more volume on it. So let's say we'll take the 1700 and then we'll go up to about 6 delta ish in here, which we already have a trade on at this one, but may go out here. So in gold, I think if you're getting $9 on these or more, that's pretty good. Look at the the margin opportunities here. So I'm okay going out 6, maybe even 5. I know some people will go out further on it. So I know Dennis or Captain Jones. So I know Dennis goes out a little bit wider on his weeklies that he does, but I'm pretty comfortable in this range here. I'll look for at least 50%, even though I'm taking the most profitable off. 50% would be a $500 winner on 1700 in buying power. You can't beat it. So there's adding these trades on in gold. As we're moving along, 112 trades, hit those really quick. So you can see there's a bunch of different trades on in here. The 112 trades, I'm putting one on every single Wednesday. The most recent one I put on this week was for March 3. Where's that one at? I think it was this one. So this is the one that was just put on this week. This is the most recent one. On these strangles, I'm putting one on every single Wednesday and letting them expire. So we do have one that is expiring today. Actually, we got a couple things expiring here today, but the primary one expiring here today is the 3770, 3730 with the 3390. So this one is expiring today. Obviously, it's going to be out of the money, so it'll expire for a full winner. This was a $10.75, so it'll be a $538 winner here. So this one's a winner, and then you'll see there is one other trade that's on here because this is a big ass 112. This is also going to expire It was for a really small credit, as they always are, 50-cent credit. So we'll make, $25 on this one, but that's about it. So that's going to come off today. I've got plenty of buying power room. Those are going to clean up some more. My struggle right now is getting theta up. Things have been coming off quickly, which is great. We're making money, but it's taking too long to get there. You will see too that the P&L, unrealized or whatever up here, the current P&L on this account's only up about $2,000 so far this year. And the primary reason for that are these SPY puts here. So these SPY puts, I'm hanging on to these. I've got 5 long SPY puts. Obviously, we're dropping on them. When I started these, you see there's 102, 112, 116 days old here. So these are over 3 months old. I was willing to take $10,000, put them in here, giving me some negative delta. So I've got, I'm almost delta neutral. I'm at 180 negative delta. Perfect. I love it. These are just chunking down. Yes, I'm down on the overall trade since we started them. It's all good. I don't care. They're still good for 2 more months and a half. One goes into April. So if the market does decide to turn and drop, these will be in great shape. If they're not, I had a nice little hedge on. I was willing to lose $2,500 a month, or really it's $2,000 a month is what I'm paying down on these. So these are what's probably killing most of this P&L so far up here. All right, so it gives you a sense of that. So first trade, weekly ES and GC. Second trades are the 112s every Wednesday, and letting one come off. I always have 8 of those running. I'm doing the 50 wide versions of those. So those are all 50 wide with the longs around 25 delta, the short naked puts around 5 delta, give or take. I may move it around just so I get at least $10 on those. And it's fine. Those are good 6% return trades in 60 days. I'm putting most of those on around 60 days. They're averaging 44 to 62 days. So on average, but they're pretty close to 50, mid 50s to 60 day on those. So you make 6% every 60 days. I can't complain because 3% is my monthly target. Strangles on futures are typically the oil or something else that I might be doing. That just one came off today. I got 2 more working. These are both in good shape so far. So I'm up a nice 8% on those. We'll just let those things cook along. So one came off today. Question would be, and Tom, I know you asked, sorry, I missed your, am I not covering these anymore? I was not. I should have covered them this week. I didn't, but I have been selling puts to cover these. I just didn't do it this week. Kind of forgot about it and got busy. So it cost myself some money there, but it's all good on it. And if I want to put on a trade, now one came off today, so I'd love to put another one on. I got plenty of buying power. I got plenty of room here. Let's go out to 90 days and put one on. Well, here's the problem. There's already 2 on at this exact expiration. And if I was using my 7 delta-ish, this is pretty close to exactly what's already working. And then if I go up here around 6, I've already got something on. And I just put a trade on yesterday. So one came off today, but because I put one on yesterday at almost the exact same strikes, I can't put another one on. I don't want to increase the risk by having too much on at one strike. So that's why I'm not adding anything there. This is why I'm looking at something a little different today. So I'm looking at a ZB. So I'm looking at bonds here. It's a little trickier. It's not exactly my wheelhouse, particularly, but I am looking to put on a strangle in bonds. I'm letting this thing at 38 ticks here. I'm letting this thing sit for a little bit today. Again, strangles on futures is trade number 3. Primarily, oil, but I'll look at doing some bonds. I'm not a big soybean and corn trader. I don't understand them as well. And when acts of God can destroy it, your stock, I'm afraid of it. I don't like natural gas. They call that the widowmaker. That's a good way to just get yourself blown up. So I'll look at bonds here today. I'm going to leave this thing working, and then a couple spec trades down here that are working. Adobe just happened to put that thing on yesterday, and it dropped 9 points today. It's all good. It's limited risk. It can only lose a little bit of money. Deer, that thing's dropping. We have a put broken wing butterfly. Meta here is a strangle. Perfect. It's up 20% already. And then Tesla here, we've got 18% winner on the overall position. There are two positions here. One is a put spread, which is doing just fine. And the other one is a call broken wing butterfly, which was doing better until today. But it's only down a little bit in price today, and it's still an overall good trade going. Last thing here is on UNH. I am bearish on this name right now, even though they had really good earnings today. It's a pretty good solid stock. I just think it's overdone. So we've got a short put broken wing butterfly on UNH, which is up a nice 20%. So overall doing well. If I take a look here, this is the small account that we are running here. So this gives you a sense of what the small account is. It's actually, there's some pricing problem on Tastyworks, which is saying we're down, but we're really not down. We're actually having a pretty good year on this thing. But today we had another oil strangle fill for a winner on it. We have another oil strangle working. I've got some buying power, so I'll probably look to put on another oil strangle. The problem being is that I just put one on yesterday or 2 days ago, and the strikes are the same. So I don't want to double up on these strikes yet. I gotta let it sit a little bit, which is kind of frustrating. I really want to put another one on, but I can't. Too similar. I don't want to increase the risk. And then 112, 112, 112, 112, 112. So you got 5 of those working. And then we've got 2 strangles working, and they're getting closer and closer to 50% winners on these. This one's showing a loss, but actually this call here, it's saying it's $1.30 is what it's worth. It's actually only worth 30 cents. Not even. This thing is worth like 22 cents. So why it's showing $1.31 mid when it's actually only 22 is beyond me. But so there's a pricing problem in here. So you're actually up on the day. This is not right. This is impacting. Yeah, Gabe, same thing. Yeah, it's so weird. It's actually been this way for a couple days. But so on Tastyworks, this mid price is way off. It's off by well over like $1.10 or something off. Very strange. But so it's showing a loss on the day, but we're really up on the day. And then let's take a quick look. Ignore my huge SoFi thing here. That was a carryover from another account that I brought in here. That's an old trade on this, but this is the IRA that we're doing here. So we've got in this IRA, we've got an oil strangle. We've got 2 112s in ES, plus a couple more here and a couple strangles going on ES. We've got gold strangle, another gold strangle, and then these are just old trades from something else that were legacy when I moved this thing to a $2,000 or $200,000 IRA. So I just left them on because there's nothing to lose by leaving these trades on in that IRA. So the nice thing about that IRA though is we are up $3,000 on a $2,000. I bought and sold to get exactly to $200,000. So we are exactly at a $3,000 winner. So that's 1.5%, and we're not even halfway through the month on an IRA. much safer trades in that IRA. Here, not as many trades going. Maybe we'll strike it rich if SoFi ever becomes a real stock, which I don't think it ever will be. So it's a horrible stock. Anyway, that's where we are on these. Okay, so delta, theta. As normal for me, I like to keep my my delta and my theta within certain parameters. I'm using Tastyworks here to calculate them for me. I don't have extreme confidence that they know what they're doing, but they seem fairly close. So I don't need to be exact. I just need to be close. Let's take a look at who's here. Just letting people in. All right, so I want to keep my delta, and I'm going to pull up another screen. I'm going to pull up the trade plan. And we got about 8 minutes, so see if we can rocket through some of these things really quick. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay. Share. So let's reshare a different screen. Take a quick look at the trade plan. So the trade plan for the year 2023, nothing unusual here. I posted this, you guys can see it. But delta, my deltas, I like to keep my delta around plus or minus 200 for every 100K. Now this account is up to like 270,000 now. So on this particular account, at 270, you got to figure that my deltas have to be somewhere in the neighborhood of what, 500 plus or minus. So when you look at, we'll look back, but I want to keep my deltas within 500 plus or minus, and I want my theta about twice of that, but theta should be somewhere around 0.4 to 0.8%. So 0.4% of a $270,000 account, that's 0.4%, not 4%, but 0.4%. So that means my theta needs to be at least at around $1,000 is my theta. And so when I'm looking at the account here, I just want to keep it within those parameters. It's way too low. Okay, delta's perfect, slightly negative, love it there. I'm totally fine with that. Theta is killing me right now. That's why I'm trying to get some more trades on to improve theta. Stuff's been closing, we're making money, but and so far this year on the main trading account we've made little over $5,400 in realized profit already. So we're more than halfway. We're 2/3 of the way to our total goal for the month, which would be again 3% goal, which is around $7,500 to $8,000. We're at $5,000 already, and we're not even halfway. So I feel pretty good on that, but I got to get more theta, and we're really low on theta. So my deltas are within plus or minus 500, and my theta should be around 1,000 or more, and right now it's not. So we really got to add some more trades on it. My problem is I'm kind of stuck on oil. Can't really add something new right now because I just added something yesterday. They're just coming off too fast, which is all good. So I'm going to bonds here, trying to get this strangle on. It's close. It just hasn't closed yet today. Other than that, I think we're good. And on the trade plan, I did scale back on some of the things that we were doing because I thought my exposure to ES was getting a little too significant. So let's see if we can share here one more time. But on the trade plan, I did cut back on some of the ES use that I had. I went to these weekly strangles at 50 wide. I have the 112s but I got rid of that 30 DTE and replaced it with a 90 DTE weekly because I just couldn't have too many more ES trades on. With the strangles, the 112s, it's a lot there. And then spec trades, 112s and any other underlyings. I mean, that's something to take a look at here. So if I'm trying to get some more theta on, a good opportunity might be to take a look at RTY. So if I'm taking a look at RTY, there's usually some good premium to be had in it. Let's take a quick look. It's also from a chart standpoint on RTY. Move. It's on the monthly, it's showing that it's heading up. On the weekly, it's heading up. And on the daily, it's starting to fire long. So RTY is in a pretty good bullish mode right here. This might be a good place to take a look at a trade. So let's see what we can put on in RTY. I like to start somewhere around, we'll go 50, but then we'll figure it out. It's a little high. No, it's actually not bad. So somewhere around this 25 delta. This isn't bad. I'll take it. So I'm going to look at a 50 wide on this, and then we would go down somewhere around 5 delta, which would be around 1550 to put this on. And obviously it's not enough, so we're gonna have to fuss it around to make some money on this particular trade. Right, so taking a look at this particular trade right now, if you were to put it on just strictly by the book, I think it's just too wide of a trap. But anyway, your buying power is 4,600 on this particular one. I like to get around 6%. So if I have a 4,600 buying power, okay, I need to make at least $270. So this needs to be close to 270. So you got a couple things you can do. You can move this up, maybe to 1580. That'd probably, get close to doing it on here. So if I'm sending this one, okay, I know I can't leg in, but I'm just doing it here to see. On this one, it's not terrible. Not making a ton on it, but getting somewhere around $3 or so on that. Now at a 50 multiple that you have on these, because you're only got a 50 multiple, so you're only making $153. So $153 on this trade based on 4,800 in buying power puts you around 3%. So again, it's too low. I probably need to get closer. I might have to shorten these up a bit more here. Maybe I'll go with a 30 wide or a 40 wide, maybe a 30 wide. Pretty close. Now you're making $320 on 5,000. So 325 on 5,100 puts me right at about 6%. So this is probably a decent trade. So this is how I got to massage it around. You can't really do the 50 wide. It gets too small of a product. So 30 wide is probably best anyway. So 30 wide on this with a put out here around the 6 delta, I think is probably pretty good on this trade. So gives me an opportunity to make at least a little bit of money. Yeah. So why not a strangle as well? My concern on a strangle is RTY is in a pretty bullish mode. I'm a little nervous about the upper end of a strangle right now. Probably going to stick this one on anyway. So let's take a quick look. We'll drop this one later. So we'll put it on. So if I want to go with a strangle on this thing, let's go out to 90 days. let's see what we got. We're not going to have a lot of 1,500 on the downside, 2,200 on the upside. This may be an impossibility to fill this. Because look at the open interest on these things. I mean, these are tough. I mean, $600 on, it's not bad. You can certainly make some money on it. If I threw a strangle on at 2,200, I don't know. We'll throw it out there and see what happens. But I'm thinking you might wait until you're dead for RTY to fill here. Let's take it down one notch. There we go. I mean, at that price, no, but that filled. So we'll throw a strangle on here. I will 100% blame you, Eddie, if this strangle goes sideways. However, I was able to at least get a little bit more theta on a delta neutral trade. Last thing here before we wrap up is with gold continuing its bullish climb, do we think the strangles may not work as well? No, because I think as we showed earlier, I think gold's getting overbought. So I don't think it's going to go one way. It's already made a gigantic move. I mean, gold has gone from a low of 1,600 roughly to 1,900 already this year. So that's a 300-point move off of its lows around 1618. So it's already up 18% this year in parabolic. Now, can it go further? 100%. I think it goes at least to 2,000, maybe 2,100. But then I think gold's got to have to take a break at some point. So I think when you're doing these, as long as it's not going there, in a week. Now, this has been a really big week for gold. It's gone up 100 points, this week alone. So it's had 2 good weeks where it's gone up and then it's consolidated. Then it's gone up and then it's consolidated. So I'm not too worried about it yet, but we'll see what happens, and we'll keep playing it out. So gold to 3,000. Gold to 3,000 would be fine. I don't care as long as it doesn't get there tomorrow. The whole purpose of these strangles is that you've got in 30 days. I just want to get my 50% and get out. All right, and we're a tad over time. Last question here: what's the take on 2023 market? Sideways, bearish, or bullish? My take: things have changed a bit in the last couple of weeks. However, I still think there's a little bit of a bump here. I think we sell off. I think we sell off pretty good into the summer, and then I think we chop around. Do I have a spreadsheet to track all of my trades? 100%. I have a spreadsheet to track all of my trades. That's this. So every trade that I have on here that's running right now is on here. These are all the open trades at the top. As they close, I simply cut and paste them down here. These are all the trades for January so far. So January, I got 20 winners, 4 losers, $5,400 in profit. And then I do track each one by their particular. I have not had a 112 close because they all closed early or at the end of December for the first couple of weeks. But 90-day strangles, got 1 close. Future strangles, I've got a couple of those that have closed. So I do track it by individual. Spec trades here, we're up 3,700, but I've taken some hits on some 0 DTE there. 10K trade. So this is the small trade account. So you can see we've made $400 on our 10K account so far. And then here's our IRA account. Same thing. We've made $1,500 so far in realized gains, no losses in the IRA. So there's the spreadsheet that I have. If you're in the Income Navigator service, that spreadsheet is in the pinned items in Slack. I can try to put something in the Discord channel for members, but it is pinned in Slack. And the updated trading plan is in Slack as well. So both of those are They're posted in there. They're both, I think they're both in the pinned items in Slack for sure. I believe they're probably both in Discord. I'll take a look. I haven't put as much in Discord because I think we're still waiting on the official move from Slack to Discord. So it's tough to try to run two different, try to keep up with commentary on both things. And I still have other income sources that I deal with besides trading. So, all right, hopefully this was helpful to everybody today. Gives you a good idea of what I'm doing, where we are, some different insights, some different trade chart setups. We'll post a copy of this and you can review it. If you need something to help put you to sleep, it's probably worked great for you. If not, enjoy a fantastic rest of your day. ES is down 11 points so far today. So we're down, nothing really happening. I think it's pretty much just a stalemate inside, type of day from yesterday. So right now we're completely inside yesterday's action, and I'm looking at it from a candle perspective. Gabe probably looking at it from a volume perspective, that we're inside, everything's inside yesterday right now. So you can go either direction, see what happens at the end of the day. I think we're getting a tad overbought. If we can make any more moves to the upside here, I expect some pullback to happen. See what happens. Okay, enjoy a great rest of your day, everybody, and we'll see you all in Slack and Discord. Thanks.